Hello, good morning. If you're watching any other time, good afternoon, good night. This is always open. I really have been having some thoughts on my mind, and I figured I'd hop on and share while I make my kids a sandwich because I'm going to the gym. So if you guys don't know me and you're watching the replay, hi, I'm Naomi, food and health coach. I help women take back control of their nutrition so they can get their health back, they can lose weight without dieting, and feel amazing again. Anyway, so I had this I've always thought about this, but it really came up this past week when it was one of my son's birthday, and we took him out to dinner, and he was like, we asked him what he wanted to drink. And normally what they usually get to drink is like seltzer water or some sort of juice, something like that. And it's sometimes like they're not always getting something, but it was his birthday. And he requested Coca-Cola. Okay. And that is a big no, usually, unless, like maybe they're at a party or something's going on, but it's not something that we just allow them to get all the time because of the health implication that it has. Like, okay, juice, seltzers, all those things, but Coke is just a real big sugar bomb with no like real nutritional value or anything like that. It's just fun to drink. But it was his birthday, so we were like, yeah, go ahead, get a Coke. And he finished it, and we asked him if he wanted another one, and he was like, no. He was done with one, and he didn't even really want dessert. But where I'm going is, if you guys are joining, I'm making them a sandwich. We really need to be mindful of how we're feeding our kids while they're young, right? Because what happens is that most likely, like, their gut starts to become affected at a really young age. And then that leads to a lot more issues as an adult. So usually when they're kids, and I know mine have a lot of rounds of antibiotics because of infections that they have going on. One of my sons has had a lot of antibiotics because he had a surgery for his arm last year, and he kept getting infections. So he has been on a lot of rounds of antibiotics, and that completely kills off their good gut bacteria. So while he was on these antibiotics, I was giving him probiotics, and I give him probiotics anyway to maintain that good gut healthy bacteria, right? So it starts to get affected. This is what I'm doing here. I'm making them a sandwich. This is Dave's Killer Bread that I'm using. I'm using the sprouted thin sliced bread. This is Applegate turkey, sliced turkey from the deli. This is provolone cheese. And then I'm going to be adding some tomatoes and spinach when it's done cooking up. So anyway, they start to grow up, right? And a lot of what happens is, and I've encountered this myself, they're like older adults, right? People who love them, they're like, oh, but they're just kids. Like, it's kids, it's okay, it's fine. But what they don't realize is that health compounds, right? And it's up to me as their mom. Well, this is my wish for them to be healthy as they grow up and not have to deal with a lot of these issues as adults, right? So they're eating all this sugar and all, the sweets, and it's okay because they're kids. But then what happens, right? They're accustomed to this. Their palate is just used to sweetness. They're hooked on sugars. They don't really know how to eat any other way. And then they hit puberty. and it's a big hormonal like surge, right? Their hormones are changing, and all these young kids are suffering from so much acne, right? And granted, they're gonna have some hormonal acne as they go through puberty, but you need to think about it like, as women, we're going through hormonal shifts all the time, and this is one of their main, as children, their main hormonal shifts. And having a healthy system for their body to develop in is really important. So that's my goal for them. Like, my goal for them is to create a healthy environment in their body, so that I'm pouring myself a little coffee as a pre-workout, because y'all, my energy is not there right now. My goal for them is for them to have a healthy ecosystem so they can go through puberty, and as they get older, they won't have a lot of these issues as adults to deal with and then have to figure out on their own themselves later on, right? I'm blessed enough to be able to teach them this and to monitor this for them. And I don't feel bad at all when people are like, oh, but they're kids. Like, they live a balanced life too. Like, they have their candies, they have their desserts, they have the soda, but it's not something that is part of their consistent lifestyle. Like, they have birthday parties, great. Have the cake, have the soda, have the chips, have the everything. We have dessert almost every night here, but there's a balance with everything else, and learning how to eat all the things and understanding that what's a treat versus an actual snack that is nourishing versus a meal, all these things. Because then that starts to train their mind when they think about food. So after dinner, they're usually like, Mom, can I have a treat? Because they know it's not part of their meal. It's just, part of dessert. So that's my goal. That's my goal. Hey, you guys. That's my goal with setting up my kids for success, to be able to go into adult life in a super, oh, hey, you guys, in a way where they're not having to battle their health or concerns about their health in like their 20s and all this, right? So I'll just quickly recap what I've said, because I've been here for a little while, but I really want you guys to get this info. I was just saying, right, that oftentimes we're told, oh, it's okay, they're kids. Like, let them eat what they want. Let them have what they want. Also, as children, they're most likely on a lot of antibiotics, right? Because of infections or whatever. And that starts to mess with their gut health at a very young age. And, you start to see large rates of obesity in children and all this, right? So I was saying that my son the other day asked for Coke for his birthday, and we let him have it. But the key is to make sure that they're also living a balanced lifestyle, because then they go into puberty, right, where they have a lot of hormonal shifts. They start getting a lot of extra acne, because obviously you get acne from hormonal shifts, but it just becomes extra, and then it becomes the spiral. Everything just becomes okay. Like, oh, it's okay, you have a lot of acne because you're going through puberty. Oh, it's okay, don't worry, you're gonna lose that baby fat. Oh, it's okay, you can eat whatever you want, you're a kid, you're young. But what we don't realize is that health compounds on each other. So me doing my best so that my kids are set up from this young age, right now they're 8 and 6, as they grow up, I know I'm doing them a great service for teaching them and raising them in that way and educating them on the foods, and having all the treats, but knowing what they're doing, right? In terms of, sometimes it's very late and they want dessert, and I say, well, if you want something sweet, you can have a fruit, but not really candy right now. If it's earlier on, then and they start to learn, they start to ask questions, and they start to get informed. And as they grow, is not such a volatile environment in their body, they're able to grow safely. Like if you notice, a lot of young people start to get really sick when they go to college. They're very young, 17, 18, 19 years old, because now they're on their own most of the time, right? I know I went away, but I know a lot of people who did not go away. But then you add in the alcohol and the bar food and all these things, right? So my goal is to set up our children for success so they have good gut health already growing up. They are more savvy and aware about the foods that they're eating. They know that movement is important for them. It's not just, something you do at school or something you do by yourself, like incorporating movement activities between the whole family. Like now my kids don't even take the elevator anymore. Like they make us go up and down the stairs, and that's something we had them do, right? So, or walking, things like that. So this is their sandwich that I really would love to encourage you as well, and just suggest to think about those things, right? Oh, thank you, Carolina. Yes, you're welcome. To think about those things when you kind of feel, because you start to feel guilty, right? You start to feel guilty when people are like, what are you doing? Like you're restricting your kids. And it's like, no, I'm not. I do allow them to have all these things, but it's not like they're going to be eating all these things all day, right? So I encourage you to think about it. If you feel any guilt, I'm happy to talk to you about it. We can DM. And one of my goals in doing this work is to also have an impact on younger generations through their parents, right? And I've already seen that happening. So I'm super grateful for that. And thank you guys for listening and joining me. Again, I am Naomi Jerez, food and health coach. If you're interested in one-on-one health coaching, I invite you to book a consultation with the link in my bio. I hope you guys have a nice day. Bye.